Welcome back to Melanin Mysteries. This is part two of our series. If you haven't listened to part one yet, we recommend you go back and check it out before continuing. Enjoy.
Welcome back to another episode of Melanin Mysteries. I'm your host, Tiffany,
And I am your host, Willie.
and we are back with part two of this crazy case. So let's just go ahead and get right into it.
Yes, sirree. So the couple, they were still in Indiana the very next day, which was June 19th, 1984. They befriended a lady by the name of Donna Williams. She was 25 years old. They claimed to be Phil and Pam from Boston, so they're using fake names. Donna had spoken to the couple about joining her church. So I guess Donna arrived at the church to set up chairs around 6:40 p.m. She left the church around 7:50 p.m., so about an hour she was there to pick up Phil and Pam, which we know as Alton and Deborah, and was never seen alive again. Damn, so she'd invited them to church and got murked.
You know, the devil go to church on Sundays too.
Mm. June 26, 1984, Donna's car was found abandoned in Detroit, Michigan. Alton's fingerprints were found on a glove compartment in the car, and fake Indiana ID was also found with the name Lisa Fisher and a photo of Deborah. Donna's body was found on July 11th, 1984, in an abandoned building. Her cause of death was literature, strangulation, and sexual assault could not be determined due to the body being so badly decomposed. But I'm betting my bottom dollar that he raped her. That's what he
I,
do.
yeah, that's what he does. And I'm also confused. Where the hell they get money and resources to get fake IDs?
Yeah, that's a good ass question. Crack. That's gonna be my answer for all this because it's crack. Somehow crack got something to do with it. I don't know. But in June 28th, 1984, in Detroit, Michigan, a 28-year-old black woman, her name was not disclosed in the court records, was kidnapped at knife point, and the couple demanded she drive them to Ohio. The victim managed to escape outside Detroit, so she was able to get away.
Lucky.
Yes. So it doesn't really go into detail if they sexually assaulted her or anything. Now the same day, so they are on some trash, right? Because the
Wilding.
same day, which is June 28th, the couple broke into the home of Pamela and Marge Jones in Dearborn Heights, Michigan. Alton had a table or chair leg, and Deborah had a handgun. They barely beat both victims and stole $90 in the couple's car, which was later found in Taylor, Michigan, about 10 miles away from the crime scene. So there you go. They beating people with table legs and stealing $90 to fund this crime spree that they're on.
I mean, but you got to think gas. We got to eat. I mean, I'm sure well, maybe they sleeping in their car, but I'm just trying to figure out who do you know that you get a fake ID from? I'm just baffled with that one.
Now, all right, look, I'm an '80s baby, right? But I was born in the '80s. I grew up, but I didn't have ID. Wasn't it like, if I'm not mistaken, didn't they have paper IDs back in the day?
Now, shoot,
Was it
don't
paper
get
or
me
was
the
it?
line. I was born in the late 80s, so I have no idea. I don't recall. I remember having a kid ID, like when I was like 6 or 7, it was just laminated. But honestly, I have no idea what IDs were like. That's a good question. I'm going to go look that up later.
Yeah, so I thought it was paper, but all right, go ahead.
So on July 2nd of 1984, Mary Billups, a 55-year-old black woman, she met Alton and Deborah on a street corner in Detroit. So about 45 minutes after they met, somehow the couple convinced Mary to invite them to her home for dinner and spend the night. That is so wild to me. I'm not inviting nobody to my house.
It was crack.
The next day, they were introduced to Marion Galveston. So at Marion's home, they threatened both Mary and Marion with knives. See, this what happened. You let somebody in your house and here they come threatening your life. So Alton punches Mary in the face and he knocked her unconscious.
Damn.
The couple then forced both Mary and Marion into the basement of the home, tied them both up with electrical cords, gagged them with rags, and then Alton continued to beat them with a wrench. My God, that is horrific. The couple stole the Marion's car. They just stealing cars all over the place.
They violent. Jeez, like damn, like what?
A
Why?
wrench? Like
Shit.
those are heavy. Oh,
Yeah, he been with a wrench.
so somehow they ended up finagling their way to Toledo, Ohio next. On June 6th of 1984, the couple came across Ernie Jackson. Again, met this man on the street. Alton lied and said he was from Decatur, Alabama, not Decatur, Georgia, and he was on leave from his army post in Germany. So they got all the aliases.
I mean, damn, this nigga, this line, he getting creative with the lies now.
Yeah,
Jeez,
he done made up a whole backstory. Like,
exactly.
oh, I'm from Decatur, and I had to go look it up because I was like, is that supposed to be Decatur, Georgia? But apparently, there's a Decatur, Alabama. Never knew. Learn something new every day.
Right.
So for this particular excursion, Deborah claimed the name Doris Smith. The Reverend, sweet Reverend, invited them back to his home for some ribs. So generous.
That was.
Somebody invite me
I know.
home.
I mean, this is horrible, but you know he was black. Cause to say, yeah, man, y'all want? I got some ribs that I made. Come on, get some. Damn, rib.
So at the Reverend's home, the couple had a chance encounter with 30-year-old Virginia Temple, who happened to stop by and visit. So again, somehow Alden managed to get Virginia's address, and the couple makes their way over there to pay her a visit. So Virginia had 5 children. She had Rachel, who was 10, Raymond, who was 6, Michael, 5, Kimberly, 3, and Angela, 1. So again, they had to be some smooth talkers because they talked this lady into letting them spend the night. Not just me and my bitch gonna spend the night. Like, that's cool. Like, yeah, that's cool.
I
It
mean,
just was
because
a wild time.
and think about it. From what it's saying, they making it seem like they snuck the address. So you did pop up at the house. Why was people so trusting in the 80s?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm gonna have to go talk to my daddy or something to find out what was going
I
on in
gotta
the
talk to
80s.
my mom because sometimes I'll be wondering, like, why the hell did she mess with my daddy? What the hell did he say to her? But that's the 70s though.
Where did
I'm
that come
sorry. Just
from?
I'm sorry. Just I gotta talk to my therapist. I gotta talk to my therapist. That can go ahead and proceed. I'm sorry.
So the couple stayed over. They're watching TV. They just chilling like they ain't on the run. They living up. They getting food and chilling. So they're chilling with Virginia's younger children, and Virginia and Rachel were cleaning up in the kitchen after dinner. So the couple's face flashes across the news, wanted. So the couple's like, oh shit. Now they don't need them to know that they have killers in their home. So what do? They kill Virginia and raped and murdered her daughter Rachel during the night.
Damn.
Right? Solution to a problem? I don't think so.
And another one. They just racking up the killings, man.
And it's
The,
senseless. That's what's so aggravating because it's so freaking senseless. Like, it's just
I mean,
it literally makes no sense.
it ain't. Remember, I told you it's not gonna make no sense because it's not meant to make sense. They just, damn.
So one of the younger children, oh no, I'm sorry. Virginia's mother was trying to call her that very next day, and when she couldn't get in touch with her, she went over to their house. So the one of her younger children answered the door and said they didn't know where their mom or their sister was. Virginia's mom immediately calls the police. So police come, they end up searching the home, and unfortunately, they find the bodies of Virginia and Rachel in a crawl space. Both of them were beaten and strangled. And the police also found out that they stole Virginia's eyeglasses and some jewelry.
What the hell? Eyeglasses?
Maybe they're using it as a disguise for their next performance, is
Oh,
what
so
I'm
you,
thinking.
so you thinking like a criminal? I didn't even think about that.
I mean, well, they got to do
Yeah,
something to like change up their appearance so they're not, because again, at this point, remember, the media has been warned. Their faces already flashed across the screen. I mean, I don't know what some glasses is going to do, but
but
apparently
shit, you gotta think though. Superman, I mean Clark Kent, all he had was those glasses, and they didn't even know he was Superman. Just a pair of
they.
glasses, and they had no idea that he was Superman. So I don't know. It was crack. So the same day, now listen, the same day. So they just got finished killing 2 people and stealing some eyeglasses. The same day in Toledo, the couple talked their way into the home of Frank Duviak, 77-year-old white man, a former superintendent of the Toledo schools. Deborah handed Alton a handgun and he forced Frank upstairs with his wife Dorothy. Frank was cuffed and Dorothy was tied up with electrical cords. Deborah stuffed paper tissue in their mouths. The couple then stole $200, a hat, and the car. So I see what they're doing. You got the glasses now, you got the hat. You're right. They're coming up with a disguise. That's exactly what it is.
And it's
July
important to
7th.
mention that this was a white man because
Oh,
now they
yeah,
ain't
yeah,
just
yeah.
killing black people. Oh, now they done crossed over and killed somebody white. It's about to be
Now
a
something
problem.
gonna get done. You don't rob a white man. 77, and he was a former superintendent of Toledo School, so he probably well known in the community and probably cool with all the cops. And he white. We got to always say he's white. So
They don't play about
yeah,
the white people. They
that's
don't.
your ass, Mr. Postman. So July 7th, the day after, the couple befriended Reverend Miller and Catherine Gay. Now you notice it's a pattern here. They know who they know who to befriend, and they know who to um like what's the word I'm looking
Coaxed
for?
into allowing them to come stay.
Yes, it's always the reverends. So Reverend Millard and Catherine Gay, they were an elderly couple, black couple, and this was in Dayton. So right after the temple, and wait, this was in Dayton right after the temple and Duviac home invasion, right?
Mm-hmm.
The rented a room from the couple and stayed there until July 9th. So forgive me, I apologize. So they ended up renting a room from this couple. They stayed till July 9th, and then the gays took the couple to Cincinnati and dropped them off. Now, this is significant for later. So they didn't do nothing to them. I mean, just imagine you allowing a stranger in your house to rent a room and later come to find out that they were habitual rapists, murderers, and they were stealing this frivolous stuff from individuals. That's crazy.
And I wonder why they decided, like, who they decided they were going to kill and who they didn't. Like, he just, they did something normal here. They rented a room. They asked, can we stay here for a couple of days? They got dropped off. Okay, nothing happened.
Yes,
Weird.
that's crazy.
So fast forward to July 11th. Alton was added to the FBI top 10 most wanted list, number 11. It was probably because he killed that white man.
Can't
Hmm.
kill a white man like that.
Exactly. Well, I mean, he didn't kill I'm sorry, let me back up. He didn't kill the white man, but you assaulted a white man. Now you're officially dangerous. So on rare occasions, the FBI will add a number 11 if that individual is extremely dangerous, but the FBI doesn't feel that any of the current 10 should be removed. So I know people think that when they add a number 11, that means that like that person is extremely dangerous, or there's a ranking to the 1 through 10 or as to how dangerous they are, but that's actually not true. There's no rank on the list. No suspect is considered more wanted than another one. But when you're number 11, they just feel like, okay, we got to do something about this person, but we can't take the current 10 that we have off the list.
Okay, because I was about to say, because if he was number 11, of course, I'm like, well, what the hell number one do? But okay, it makes sense.
So July 11th, it's still in Cincinnati. There was Tori Story. This is a 15-year-old girl. She left school around 2 p.m. with a friend. The very next day, her parents reported her missing. On July 19th, Tori's body was found decomposed in a vacant apartment building. A witness who was one of Tori's classmates saw Tori walking with a black man and a woman. Alton and Deborah were identified from mugshots and a photo of Deborah because she had never been arrested, but they had hella mugshots of Alton. Deborah's fingerprint was found on a Michael Jackson button Tori was wearing, and a muddy footprint was found in the basement of the building. Tori died from strangulation. They couldn't determine if she was raped because the body was so decomposed. And underneath Tori's body, they found a bracelet that was stolen from Virginia Temple. Remember, we said he stole some jewelry from her. And they also found an envelope from the Gays' home, that couple that they didn't do anything to, that dropped them off. So
Okay,
now they're leaving behind evidence.
they're getting sloppy. I mean, because they don't have a plan. I think they're just going. They just
Yeah,
they're
they're
just
clearly
going.
willy nilly just doing whatever.
I don't. Why do they say willy nilly? I don't like that. That's like why. I'm gonna look up the. I'm gonna look up the who came up with that willy nilly. I mean, my
Oh,
name Willie. I don't like that. Okay, so I apologize. I'm sorry. Okay, so July 13th, Alton and Deborah were riding bikes in Norwood, Ohio. I don't. they're wanted for all type of murder and rape, and they just out here willy nilly in Norwood, Ohio, riding bikes, and they came across a camper for sale. So of course they stopped and they spoke with a gentleman by the name of Harry Walter. It was actually a white couple under the impression of purchasing the camper. This was around 12:01 p.m. The couple's daughter, 19-year-old Sherry, was at work at the time. When she arrived back home around 3:45, she noticed bikes in the yard and her father's car was missing. Inside the house, it was a total chaos. She began to run through the house screaming her parents' name, but didn't receive an answer. She then tried to call her grandparents on the house phone that was downstairs, but the line had been cut. That was back in the day when, people had corded phones. She went upstairs and used the phone there to call her grandparents. Her grandparents said that her mother had called earlier and said that they were showing a camper to a couple. After Sherry hung up with the grandmother, she went into the basement, and that's where she found her parents bound, beating, and gagged. Her father, Harry, had a rope around his neck. His feet were tied and his hands was cuffed. Her mother, Marlene, hand and feet were bound by extension cords. Sherry went, got a knife from the kitchen, and attempted to cut her parents loose. She ran to her neighbor's house, screaming and yelling to call the police because, she said that they had been tied up and killed. At the time, she thought both of them was dead.
And can
So the
you
police and
imagine
the
coming
paramedics
home?
arrived. Say it again.
I'm sorry. Can you imagine coming home and your house is like in shambles and you find your parents?
Yes, I mean that I can. Wow. Yes, they were supposed to be showing the camper and end up getting murdered. I mean, again, that's I don't know. 80s was wild time. So police and paramedics arrived around 4 p.m. and found Harry somewhat conscious. The coroner was also called for Marlene. So unfortunately, she didn't make it. The husband did, but the wife didn't make it. Her death was caused by blows to the head, resulting in skull fractures and brain injuries. Alton fingerprints were found both inside and outside the house. The couple's car that was stolen was a Plymouth Reliant, and the couple also stole a pair of sunglasses and a pair of off-white colored shoes. So they just trying to get a whole. I mean, at this time, I don't, they don't even, I don't think they even know what they're doing. I think they just, yeah, I don't even think they know what they're doing. I mean, damn. So Alton and Deborah drove the stolen car to Lexington, Kentucky. They abandoned the car and then they made their way to Dayton, Ohio. Now, in July 16th, and I know this a lot, you guys, but we're trying to give y'all all the information. We feel like unfortunately, every victim, we want to bring to you guys' attention so y'all can see just how vile and demented these individuals are. So, as I was saying, July 16th, Alton and a friend Thomas Farrell Harris. Now, we don't even know where the dude came from. Like, you there's no way you could tell me that his friend did not know that he was wanted. There's
I'm
no
sure
way
he
you could tell
probably
me that.
knew. He probably knew who he was. Like he
No,
probably
he
saw him
did
on the
though.
news and was like, "Ooh," and happened to come across him like, "Hey, let me get in on this." 'Cause we don't know if this was a white man, black man. I couldn't find any information about this man at all.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and just go on a just guess that he probably was on crack. That's what I think. So his friend Thomas Farrell Harris, 23, in Alton, they end up kidnapping a 20-year-old named Olin Carmichael, a white man. So now y'all crossing over. Y'all then went over there and y'all started messing around with the Caucasian persuasion. You can't do that because again, now you're gonna have the boys on you. Now he was staying at a Continental Inn hotel in Lexington, Kentucky. I guess he was doing some type of research work as part of like a 5-week post grad program at the University of Kentucky. He was on his way to his room when he was stopped. His life was threatened, and they told him that they would blow his brains out. They made him call his wife and demand a ransom. The instructions given to the wife was to take the money to a gas station in Richmond, Kentucky, about 35 miles from Lexington, and the trio never showed up to the gas station to pick up the money. So I'm assuming the wife did what was requested, but they dumbass didn't even pick up the money. So they
And I'm
end up
sure y'all
driving.
broke.
I know. Again, they not thinking. They just going at this time. They just going. Usually when it's like this, the end is coming close. It's coming close to the end because now they just doing stupid shit. Now, I mean, they already were doing it, but now you kidnap somebody, hold them for ransom, Tell the wife to bring the money, and then don't go. Then you don't go pick it up. So
But
as I
then
was
I
saying,
just look to your testament, like I really hate to say it, but it really do sound like they on crack because they just
man,
doing
I'm
dumb
telling
shit.
you, it's crack, man. Crack. I'm telling you, crack was so crazy back out in the '80s. Yes, they were. They this is all. I guarantee you that crack was involved in this one way or another. So they ended up driving back to Dayton, and they abandoned the car. They left Allen, the white boy, in the trunk of the car. He was found several hours later, still alive. Thank God. Their accomplice Thomas was arrested in Dayton, Ohio. So the accomplice ended up getting arrested. That's so crazy. He did one crime with this one crime that we know with Alton and immediately got arrested. Yeah, Alton, this dude still out here ripping and running.
I snitch like I be snitching my ass off because I'm petty like that. Like I'm on the you on the run and I done got caught. No, I'm snitching.
Like you ain't even give me nothing to eat. No, no, fuck the McDonald's. No, I'm gonna tell you everything you need to know.
So on July 17th, Alden and Deborah went back to the home of the gays in Dayton, Ohio. That was the elderly couple that dropped them off prior to in Cincinnati. But
Okay.
by now, Milliard, the husband, he realized who the couple actually were and he told them so.
Okay,
He
stop.
confronts them.
Sorry. I'm sorry. So I apologize. You know I don't like interrupting you. By the way, so he saw Alton and Deborah on TV, and usually when when they show your face on TV, you're wanted. They're going to tell you what you're wanted for, and he actually told them like, "Hey, I saw you." Is that what happened?
Basically, I mean, usually, us, we usually don't do things like this. We would just normally keep our mouth shut and then, call the police afterwards, but we trying to make it out of here with our life. But again, he was elderly. So maybe that's that. So,
Mm.
according to the court documents, Alton allegedly said, quote, "Well, honey, I guess we have to burn them," end quote. And Alton and Deborah both pulled out guns. Catherine knocked the gun out of Alton's hand and they started tussling. Somehow, Alton ended up pistol whipping Milliard. I don't know how that worked, but that's what was said. The gays
Wait,
were
hold on.
then
So wait. So the wife, Grandma Dynamite, jumped up and knocked the gun out of his hand, and somehow he got the gun back and pistol whipped the husband.
That's what it said. The gays were then tied up, and we don't know if it was Alton or Deborah, one of the two. They attempted to strangle Catherine, but they stopped before she passed out. Before they left, Alton said to Milliard, quote, "Usually we don't leave witnesses, they always get rid of them." He pulled out his gun and he tried to shoot Catherine, but the gun jammed. So the couple just left. They stole some money and they stole the gays' cars.
Man, I know that. Oh my God, the gun jam. That was nothing but God. Won't He do it? Won't He do it?
No, for real. Ooh. So July 19th, in 1984, Eugene Scott, a 79-year-old black man, was found in a ditch outside of Indianapolis, Indiana. He was shot 4 times with a 38 caliber gun and stabbed repeatedly. Reckless. So next
Damn. So
day,
they did. Eugene Scott, the 70. Oh, okay.
and it's
Another.
an elderly man. Y'all, why do y'all keep messing with the elderly? Because they're weak,
I know
or you
that's.
think they're
I mean,
weak?
I get most likely they probably end up robbing him, but damn, just rob the old dude. Why shoot him then stab him?
Exactly. Like that's overkill. So very next day, so mind you, we done went like they're doing like all this in rapid succession. Like they're not even taking a break. They just going, just
Man, they
going, just
they
going.
treating this shit like it's a full-time job. They showing up to work every day.
That part. So on July 20th, around 10:40 a.m., Alton and Deborah were spotted in Mason Park in Evanston, Indiana. So the police are like, finally, we done caught up to these niggas. Alton was approached and he gave the police a false name. The police was like, "Nah, come on, you gonna come with us, sir? Let's go on and
All right,
go. Let's go.
bring your old murdering ass in here. We know who you are.
Like we've been looking for your ass. Let's go." But they were actually both arrested without incident. The 38 caliber gun that was used to kill Eugene Scott was found in Deborah's purse, and his
Mm.
car was also found nearby. These two were on the run for 53 days.
And they put work in. They was working every day. Like if we look at it, I think they were, yes, killing and robbing and raping every one of those days. and they rested on the 7th.
Don't do that.
I know, jeez, man. Why do you
Don't do
even
that.
have me do this podcast with you? Why?
She ain't got no sense, but you ain't, don't do that. Continue. Continue.
Once in custody, Alton said he knew who Vanita Wheat was, but he denied killing her. Cap. Both Alton and Deborah were on trial. They had to face a jury in Ohio, Indiana, Illinois. Both were giving public defenders.
So
So,
let me pause you right there for just a second.
yes,
So they went to court in three separate states, although they committed murders in six states. I wonder why they didn't try
I
and
think it was
try them in
five. Was it? I think it was five. It was Michigan, Wisconsin, Indiana, Illinois, and Ohio.
Kentucky.
Oh, you're right. That's six. You are right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, six. So, and it said somewhere that I saw one place that Alton represented himself, but then the court documents didn't specify, so I wasn't really sure. But again, why did y'all go to trial? What type of attorneys did you have? Even if you have a public defender, wouldn't you suggest that your client, like, look, sorry, we know you did it. The evidence is, we have all the evidence.
It's
We
overwhelming.
know you did it. Because if you go to trial, I'm sure, I'm 100% sure they're going to try and give you the death penalty. So I don't think it's a good idea to go to trial, because that's
You
what I
know
would tell
what's?
my client. You would take
I
a plea deal?
know. I think, and I can be wrong. I think in situations like this, they don't even give them a plea deal. They like, we're taking it straight to court so they can face the death penalty. I mean, I'm not trying to be funny. I'll do the same thing. I'm not trying. No, bro. You gotta die.
Yeah, because
Yes, eye
now
for eye. Yeah, you didn't.
if they had just been
You
killing black people, maybe they would have gave them a plea deal. But y'all, you killing white people, they want your
yeah. As
they
soon as
out
you
for
killed that
blood.
white people, they said, "No, hell no, man. You don't do that. Certain things you just don't do in life." And you hurt a white man and you kill. Oh man, yeah, they about to
You
stroke
killed a
that.
white woman, sir. You killed a
A
white
white,
woman.
yeah, yeah,
They is coming after
man,
your ass.
exactly. They were given public defender. So Deborah, who was of course the co-defendant, admitted to her involvement and stated that she had been smoking marijuana and cocaine. I told
It
you, it was
says
crack.
cocaine. It did not say crack. I wonder if they
Man, look, let me tell
differentiated
you that
between
it
the
was
two back
crack.
then.
No, it was crack. They was crack. Okay, cocaine gonna have you like that. And she said she was smoking marijuana and cocaine, so she was smoking crack. I knew
Okay,
it.
so let's talk about this. So back in the 80s, was it still freebasing or was it crack? Which one
It
was
was
it?
it was crack. That's all. It was crack. Free base, crack, and a pipe. I don't know, man. But yeah, it was. Yeah. So why when I little, I thought, because I saw that movie JoJo Dancer, I thought that Richard Pryor invented crack. I'm not making that up. I did after seeing that movie, but they call it freebase there. But no, it's crack. That's all it is. They were. I knew it. I'm telling you, that would only explain some of the decisions and things they did. Man, crack was all in them. So, 11-year-old Annie, remember her? She was the young girl who was brutalized in the woods, and they left her to die. But thank God she regained conscious and was able to find her way out of the woods. So she had to testify, and she identified Alton in court. They said she showed little emotion during her 41-minute testimony. Annie was asked to point out her attacker, and she pointed directly at Alton. The defense tried and get Annie's testimony thrown out as they questioned the validity of her identification. They argued that the prosecutor coached her. So this is, and this is just me personally. I understand that as a lawyer, you have to do your job, right? I get that. But my thing is this: knowing the brutality and everything that they did, your clients are guilty. Why would you even try to attempt to get testimony thrown out from a young girl who was brutalized from them? Like, why would you do that? And I get it, a lawyer got to do their job, but it got to be. It's a fine line. I understand that. It's a fine line for me. Where yes, I have a job to do, but at the same time, I'm not knowing the person that you are. I'm not about to do anything that can possibly set you free.
But I
Nothing.
mean, I believe that is that in your oath? I'm not sure. I would like to speak to an attorney, because I wonder, like, I believe you have, like, and that's especially with you being a public defender, that is your job. Like, you have to take that case. I wonder if you decline a case if you're a public defender or if you just have to take it because I
Yeah,
can't
I
just
mean,
see
I think
anybody
I
willingly
don't.
taking this case.
Yeah, I think they. Yeah, I don't think they had a choice. But man, shit, I did. This would have been one of the cases I did it. So they said they tried to coach her by showing her numerous photos of Alton. So they tried to make it seem like they like Alton
Coerced her.
was the guy, and that they more or less framed him, and they used her by showing her pictures of him, and I guess it, she
Swayed her
felt as if
thinking.
I'm not. She felt as if I'm tripping. I guess it was a situation where they're trying to say that they coached her, like you said, to say that it is him, even though it's not. That's the part I have an issue with. So many of the surviving victims also testified in the trial, also, and of course, the judge denied the motion. Yes, I know he probably did that immediately. Beverly Perkins, Alton's ex-wife, testified in court that he was physically abusive. Another friend of Alton, Patricia Parks, also testified that the afternoon of May 31st, Alton came to her home and asked her to leave town with him, and she declined. So he already had Deborah retarded ass, and he went to another lady house and said, "Hey, leave town with me." She like, "No, I'm cool on you, Alton." She probably saw it.
She probably
Yeah,
did,
she
and I'm
saw.
trying to figure out when, like, so because like it never said anywhere where he was married except for on the trial when they pulled his ex-wife on the stand. I wonder what type of hell that lady went through with him. Like, I really want to know, like, what type of hell that lady endured being
Man, ain't
married
no
to him.
telling. Yeah. So ultimately, they were both convicted of 2 counts of aggravated murder, attempted murder, aggravated battery, aggravated robbery. Alton was given a death sentence in all 3 states. Illinois commuted his sentence to life without parole. Ohio ultimately won. They won in the execution, so he was placed on death row in Ohio.
So
So
everybody's on his head.
man, I don't know, man. I'm a firm believer. Like when you do stuff like that, again, that's just me, man. Put your ass in jail and put you in general population and let them beat the hell out of you. Because back in that day, so back in those days, they said it used to be an honor among thieves, which means certain things, certain crimes you didn't do, like you didn't mess with old people or you didn't mess with kids. Like, I remember my uncle Frank, who just got out of jail after doing like 85 years or
Not
whatever.
85 years.
Yeah, yeah, he did a long time. I remember he was telling me about that. And in this situation, no, I'm not about to even kill. I'm gonna put you in general population, and everybody gonna know what you did. And every single day, you're gonna get beat, and they're gonna take your Bucci cap. That's just
But
me.
still, they still have to treat you like a person. So
Nah,
you
bro,
still
you an
have rights
animal.
as a person.
Nah, you after all them murders, man, you lost all your rights, man. You lost all your rights. I'm gonna have the biggest black dude share cell with you, and you're gonna be his wife. That's just me. That's why I'm not a warden of any jail, and I'm not a judge.
Exactly. That's exactly why you're not.
Hmm.
Deborah was also sentenced to death in all 3 states. So most of the charges that ranged from rape to burglary to kidnapping were never pursued due to the extensive charges that were brought up. Because if you think about it, there were literally what, over 50 different charges. Like, it was insane. And I guess they couldn't prosecute for everything. Like, that would have cost so much money. And then, like I said, you're getting tried in 3 separate states. They have to transport you here so you can show up to your court date here. So ultimately, they ended up only charging them with a few, which I still feel isn't right because even though they got sentenced, every victim deserves just that judgment in their case. That's just
Yeah, I
me.
think, but some of the victims probably don't even want to relive it. Like you got some people that don't even want to go to trial, and they got to actually relive it. So you got some people like, man, look, just it is what it is. Um,
So
so
Chalindra's case. Oh, go ahead.
just to give you guys, so enough, they killed 7 people. They attempted to kill 3 people, assaulted 9 people, because some of the assaults was rapes, but they call it assault. And 1 to 2 killed back Coleman only. 8 to 15 raped back Coleman only. So he killed one to
That's
two
so
people
many.
just by himself, and he raped 8 to 15 people. by itself. I just want to throw that out there.
That's horrible. I really have no words. I really have no words.
Yeah.
So the case for Chalindra, the before he went on the run, was never he never got tried for that case. Because the case of Ernita ended up trumping that case. So he was never even prosecuted for that one. So that poor
Yeah.
girl, unfortunately, to me, in my opinion, she didn't get justice.
I mean, with the nigga on death row, so she probably like, look, I'm good with that. He was on death row. They probably, yeah. I mean, I get it, and I don't know how I would feel in a situation like that, but I mean, he on death row. It is what it is.
So Deborah was also placed on death row in Ohio. However, in 1991, Deborah's sentence was commuted to life in prison without the possibility of parole due to her mental delays. It was reported that she had an IQ of 74. The average IQ was 100, so she's well below.
Retarded. What? This the we this is, the case was based in the '80s, so she was
It was
borderline
just how you
retarded.
screamed it out. It was just how you screamed it out that got
Oh,
me.
okay. I'm sorry.
So she was able to receive the life sentence without parole, but in order for her to do that, she had to forfeit the remainder of her appeals and admit guilt. So when you are convicted and you're placed on death row, they automatically give you appeals. So she had to forfeit all of those appeals just to get the life sentence without parole. She's currently serving her life sentence at the Dayton Correctional Institute in Ohio.
Man, that hoe look crazy too. We gonna put a picture. Yeah, it's that y'all will see a picture, but yeah, that bra look crazy.
As hell. So, according to evaluation, Deborah suffers from dependent behavior, mild retardation, depression. She lacks the ability to function independently and assume responsibility for major areas in her life, which we did talk about that. Like, she had a head injury as a child, so that probably messed her up for life. And we see that she was easily controlled. Even her mother said it before they went on this crazy crime spree. Her mother said that she would say something to her and she would ask her a question and Alton would answer for her and then she would repeat whatever he said. So she clearly couldn't, and he clearly manipulated her. Clearly
Yeah, and
manipulated.
not to mention she was smoking crack.
Yeah, I'm sure that didn't help. But one thing Deborah was gonna do, she was gonna stand by her man. Okay. Was quoted to have said, "I know I have to suffer for what I did, but I'll give my life for him. I'll fight for my husband's life. I'll go down for him. I'll put my life on the roll for him. I love him so much. I told him that I would go down for him and I would give up my life for him." End quote. Bitch, you crazy.
Man, she ride or die. Damn, like she said, I would give my life for this man, even though I know he done took 3 dude boochie cat in jail, and he would rape a little girl, but I give my life for him because I love him so much. Told you, man. That see, and back in the '80s, man, I think they mixed crack with something else. It was a lot stronger back then. So I just want to throw that out there.
Potentially. I don't know. I have no idea. No idea at all. But my thing is, she was quoted. It was the whole husband thing. It was, and I was digging into this, and it's some say that they were married, some say they weren't, and I wonder if they were just common law married. I have a problem with that. I'm not
I
gonna
looked it
common
up.
law marry you.
Yeah, it was no record of them being married. She just delusional, like a lot of these women out there
No,
now,
it's no. She
calling their
wasn't
boyfriend their stuff.
delusional. You did not say like a lot of these women. She wasn't delusional, but the '80s common law marriage was very common. Me, you're not gonna common law marry me, nigga, because that means I'm not entitled to nothing when you die. I want
Man,
all
first
my
of
family.
all, them niggas didn't even have time to get married with all the raping and killing they was doing. When did they
Well,
have
they did have
time?
time to get married. She was living at his grandmother's house for a year before they did all this crazy stuff. While he was out doing whatever the hell he was doing, she was at home taking care of his grandma. They had plenty of time to get married, but he just said he didn't have enough respect for her to marry her. So she his common law wife.
Okay, my bad. Hey, look, you
You know,
right.
I get up on my soapbox about that one.
Okay. Preach,
So,
preach, preach,
unfortunately,
preach.
the Turks family was highly upset when they found out about Deborah's sentence being commuted. They were not notified by anyone. They found out, just like the rest of the world on TV, that Deborah's sentence had been commuted. The least y'all could have done was given the family a heads up, just as a courtesy. Just
Yeah,
as a courtesy.
I thought that's what they did. Like I really was under the impression that they would let the victims or the family of the victim know that they were going to do that. That's Yeah.
I mean, and I wonder if maybe because it was two different states, that was the reason why they didn't contact them, because what they were in, where were they? That was that Indiana, or was that Wisconsin that they did that? But either way, this was in Ohio, so maybe Ohio didn't want to talk to the other states. I'm not sure, but that could have just been like a courtesy. That's a simple phone call to let them know what's going on.
Yeah,
Simple
that's
phone call.
horrible.
So the family, Tamika and Annie's family, they feel that Deborah has no sympathy for her actions or her victims. Tamika's grandmother, she's was well, as of 2018, she was still alive. She said that Deborah's family, and this is in 2018 that she said this, Deborah's family still lives in that same house, and that Deborah's family still petitions for Deborah's freedom by passing out flyers. I
Man,
I
if you don't
understand.
sit your raggedy ass down, man, your daughter's sick. They need to, man. Look, let me be quiet, man.
I don't think that they view her as sick. I think that they viewed her as she was manipulated, and with her being mentally delayed, she was not able to make
Man,
decisions
like I
on
don't give
her
a
own.
cut the shenanigans. I don't give a shit if she was retarded or what. Know what I'm saying? The stuff she knew what she was doing, and even the fact that she talked about I die for my man, I ride for him, all that speaks volumes. Bitch, you in jail for the rest of your life. I don't care. And they talk about they trying to get her free. Freedom for what? For her to get out and then find another dude influence her to do it again. Come on,
Maybe she
man.
has
Yeah,
Stockholm syndrome.
it's what?
Maybe she has Stockholm syndrome.
First of all, I don't even know who Stockholm is, and I don't even know why he got a syndrome. So we're not gonna bring him up in this. We talk about man. Anyway, man, I'm done. Look, Alton, of course, filed for appeal after appeal after appeal. In one of his appeals, he alleged that during the sentencing phase of his trial, the counsel was inadequate and didn't argue the mitigating factors that may have spared him from the death penalty. He suffered from a troubled childhood, personality disorder, brain dysfunction. He also argued that his jury was racially biased. It was denied. So you
Okay, so
killing
let's.
these people
You
in
killing
these
white people in these white areas. You're getting judged
bad
a jury of
jury
your
of your
peers.
peers.
You in a
Yes.
white
What you
neighborhood.
I mean, but he trying to do he trying to do everything he can, man. I mean,
And
he
I would,
talk about
I wonder. It crossed my mind when I found out that in one of the cases he defended himself. Were you talking about yourself was ineffective counsel? Was it you?
I mean, his retarded ass probably did say that. To be honest with you, and you know what? Just so everybody know, the only reason I'm using the word retarded is because this was a case in the '80s. So just want to throw that out there. I'm not really that insensitive, but on this case, I don't care. Yes, so yes, he was retarded, and I don't know what he thought he was going to do. But again, you got all these appeals. He trying to argue for something, so he went as far as the Supreme Court and made appeal stating that broadcasting his execution over closed circuit TV will be a violation of his rights of cruel and unusual punishment.
What you did to your
Cruel and
victims was
unusual,
cruel and unusual punishment.
man. Dude, yes, man. Man, the things oh my god, man. That's why I said I thank goodness I am not a judge or anything because I'm gonna get creative with my punishments. Yeah, I'm gonna get creative. Oh no, you're not gonna just die from no lethal injection. We gonna do some stuff to you.
And
We
that's
gonna
why they
torture
have
you.
checks and balances, because people like you will be out here wilding out. Checks and
Well,
balances.
I don't. He can check, you know what I'm saying, and hope that he be balanced. I don't care about that. That you're right. That's why that's why I'm doing a podcast. I'm not sitting on the bench with a gaffle. So after exhausting all the appeals, he applied for clemency in Ohio. And this is crazy. Reverend Robert Evans, and I just tried to look him up, right? Because I was going to send him a Facebook message to tell him he need to go to hell. Reverend Robert Evans
You
testified
would
on
not
his
say,
behalf.
wait. You did not just say you was gonna message that man of God and tell him to go to hell. I'm done.
That's exactly what I was going to do. And you think I'm lying? Like real talk. Let me.
No, I know you're not, and that's the crazy
Okay,
part.
I'm
I
about to say.
know you're not
Remember, I
lying.
was looking him up. Remember, I was like, let me see what this. I was going to send him a message and tell him he need to go to hell. You know what I'm saying? When he get down there, tell Eddie Long I said what's up. That's exactly what I was going to
Oh,
say.
oh,
What I do?
I'm
What I was that too much?
I keep moving. Just keep moving.
Okay, well, he said he knew Alton since birth and that he was born into an environment of rejection, drugs, and prostitution. He brought up how his mother threw him into a trash can and as a baby, and how his grandmother practiced voodoo. Yeah, let me find out who Reverend Robert Evans is. If anybody know him, please DM me and let me
I'm,
know because
I'm
yeah,
sure he at this point he's deceased. I'm sure
what
he's deceased. If he knew
when she
Alton when
his
Alton was a kid, he's deceased. Alton was born in the 50s, so I'm sure he's deceased at this point.
well, just in case he's his old ass alive, again, if anybody know him, please let me know. His defense brought up arguments for clemency, stating genetic disposition for disordered behavior and or in utero poisoning due to maternal drug and alcohol abuse by his mother during pregnancy, early maternal rejection and abandonment by his mother during vital developmental stages, and drugs and alcohol addictions, and organic brain dysfunction, causing him to lack the ability to make non impulsive choices about his life path.
Or
Whatever.
it was crack.
Now we talking. Okay, that's why I mess with you, Tiffany. That's why I mess with you because you're thinking like I'm thinking. The crack. His mama was on crack, grandma was on voodoo crack, and his ass was on
Oh,
crack.
crack.
So it's just all makes sense. So Harry Waters, which is Marlene Waters' husband, made a statement. He asked, "When would the legal system have mercy on the victim?" Man, preach.
Preach.
He stated that it was long overdue and that the death sentence should be enforced. And I agree. Well, again, let me quit. But yes, it should be enforced. Scott Leonard, which is Marlene's Walter's son-in-law, also made a statement. He requested justice in the case, no sympathy. He also asked for the death penalty to be upheld. The Ohio Parole Board received 38 individual letters and petitions with 115 signatures asking for the clemency request to be denied. I'm surprised that's all they got.
Me
It was
too.
noted that Alton was a model inmate.
Well, he was on death row. Who he ain't had nobody to talk to. He locked up for 23
He
hours a
was
day. So I mean,
he
what
was
else
in
could
the
he
cell
do?
by yes, he was in the cell by himself. Know what I'm saying? No, if he was out, I mean, you saw what happened when he was in jail for 5 days. Just he was going out there just taking boy butt all day long. The parole board reviewed and denied Alton's request for clemency. Thank God. Alton was only the third execution in the state of Ohio since the death penalty had been reinstated in 1981. So April 26, 2002 was the set execution date. Now, all prisoners that's on death row, they get a last meal, right? Do you know what his last meal was?
Tell me, humor me.
Filet mignon with sauteed mushrooms, fried chicken breast, cornbread,
That's how you know he was
biscuits
black.
and brown gravy, french fries, collard greens, broccoli with cheese, salad with French dressing, onion rings, sweet potato pie with whipped cream, butter pecan ice cream, and a cherry coke. I would
And I
have
bet
gave that
you he
nigga
didn't even eat all that.
15. I would gave it said 15 Popeye biscuits with no bev. You ain't get 15, you gonna sit there eat all every last one of them. That's what I would have did.
So
So he
damn
spent his
funny.
last hour visiting with spiritual advisors until 8:45. They say he was very calm and compliant. He was offered a shower just before the execution. I don't why, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe that nigga wanted to die fresh. I don't know. He wore a non-denominational prayer shawl and walked 17 steps from his holding cell to the death chamber. He repeated Psalm 23. He was given a sedation injection to slow his heart rate. They said he took 8 to 9 quick breaths, and he was pronounced dead at 10:13 p.m. And there were only two family members of the family of the victims present at the execution.
So
Yep.
that is the case of Alton and Deborah Brown. Now let me backtrack for just a moment here. Because I told you when I was researching this, I got really, really upset about this.
Go ahead.
Now I know God forgives, and this is like I know He forgives all sins, all of them, every single
All
one
of
of
them.
them,
But
all
in
of
the
them.
Bible, I'm not trying to take it too far, but in the Bible, it does talk about an unforgivable sin, but it has nothing to do with this. I just want to throw that out. But go ahead. Let's just say, for the sake of the conversation, all sins are forgiven. Yes.
But this man has terrorized children. He has killed children. He's killed all these people. And I'm not trying to be funny, but there may have been cases that, like people that he came across and we don't even know that he killed or murdered or raped or whatever the situation is. And I
True.
can just imagine I'm sitting up in heaven, I'm chilling, I'm looking around. Who the fuck? How you get here?
Yeah, first of all, if I'm in heaven, I'm saying I'm whooping his ass. I mean, I look at me and God, we'll have a conversation, but oh yeah, we definitely gonna fight. Did he need
Like
his
you,
ass
you,
whooped
you.
in
I mean,
heaven?
I'm just sitting there like you chilling, you up there, you living your, doing whatever you doing, singing, praising, and you look over. How the hell did this nigga get here? Why is he here? I
Yeah,
just, and I guess that's
I would.
why we don't have the same heart, because send your ass straight to hell. You done did all your dirt, and now you want to come back and, Jesus, I'm so sorry for everything that I've done. And yes, he's going to forgive you, but to me, it's just not fair. It's not. You should suffer like you made those kids suffer.
Yeah, I agree. I ain't gonna lie. I pull Jesus aside like this nigga, him. Gee, come on, him. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say the N word. G, my bad. I would no. And that's the crazy part. On a serious note, right? That is the crazy part because as a Christian, yes, we do know that. If you know the story of the death of Christ, the it was a robber. I think they were thieves that was on the cross, and he said, "Hey, look, you don't deserve to be here, but when you do die, remember me." And he said, "You know what? From this point on, you're going. I think you're gonna live in paradise, and you're in heaven." So, to be honest, if he did ask God for forgiveness, and he did give his life over to Christ, he's gonna be in heaven. Like real talk, he's gonna be in heaven.
I know, and that bothers me. And I know it shouldn't. And I know it shouldn't, but it really does, because I just think about all the people you've hurt, all the lives that you've ruined, people who are still here and they're suffering because that, like, just even like Annie, that was so traumatic. That girl may or may not ever come back from, and live a normal life from that. And she was so young. I mean, I hope she did, and I hope she found her peace. But what if she didn't? You took
I
something from her
agree.
that she can never get back.
Yes, yeah, I agree. I agree. I agree. Yeah, it was a tough one, man. It definitely was a tough.
Yeah, this definitely was a tough one. So we wanted to implement something a little bit new. We're gonna try this out and see how this works. So we're gonna add a new segment called Love, Lies, and Alibis. You want to get started? You want to start the conversation on this one?
Oh yeah, because this ain't gonna be long. Yes, let's do it, please. So explain to them what it is. Like, give you a quick explanation of what we're doing.
Okay, so we're gonna just we're gonna talk about the relationship aspect of this case. So I feel like,
And where
so
went wrong? Where went wrong?
okay, so we talk about, okay, so we're gonna say that they were married because Deborah said that's her husband. She said, that's my man, that's my husband. And you're supposed to be submissive to your husband. You're supposed to let your husband lead you, correct? But what happens when your husband is leading you to the pits of hell? You gonna follow him?
I mean, I agree with you. At the end of the day, it was. I mean, I can't. There's nothing I can look at to say it was wrong from the beginning. The minute this nigga was born, it was wrong. Like it was wrong in every aspect, and it was. I don't think there's nothing we can even say that could have changed. She was obviously mentally delayed, or whatever the case may be, and felt comfortable enough to. I can't. I can't even. I don't even know. I mean, because yes, a man, the husband is the leader. That's what they say, but at the same time, God do give you common sense. So if he leading you in a direction that you already know is going to be hell, you have to say, "Nah, I'm good." Because at the end of the day, a wife is supposed to be her husband's helpmate. You a lot of time, wife recognize things that the husband don't see, but in this case, these niggas was just crazy. Like it didn't make a difference.
Yeah. Because and I'm all for, like, I know it's always a big debate on what does submissive mean, and I'm not gonna be submissive to some man. I remember I was on Facebook and this lady, she went off. She was like, I'm not bowing down to no nigga, and you gonna bow down to me. I was like, oh, I was like, first off, like, you a little aggressive, honey, but okay. And I'm just like, I think we've gotten so far away from what it means to be submissive. Like, I don't like, if you're a man and you're doing what a man is supposed to do, and I don't mean just any man, because you not lead me. You like, I mean, I'm willing to follow within reason. Everybody want to be Bonnie and Clyde, but y'all, everybody forget this is a perfect situation, perfect scenario. Everybody want to be Bonnie and Clyde, and I want to ride for my man. Bonnie and Clyde died at the end. I got questions. I'm not riding. I'm not dying. I got things to do. I got trips booked. My passport needs stamps. I don't got time to be out here on a crime spree with you.
Yeah,
Like
man.
it
Like,
does. In I mean, but it just bothers me. Like we have these women that do so much just to say I rode for my man. I don't look good in. Well, I do look good in orange, but I don't. I'm scared to go to jail. I think I've said that before. I am terrified to go to jail. They're not gonna rape me in jail. I'm scared. So, sir, I can't go and throw away my life for you.
no, I agree with you. And I mean, let's be honest. At the end of the day, yes, women, they in the Bible speaks about women being submissive, but at the same time, men gotta, you gotta keep everything in order. You know, if you not, well, it was a saying we used to say that when a man put on a suit, she has no other choice but to salute. In other words, when you are operating in, the correct order, it's no problem for a woman to be submissive. But why would a woman want to be submissive for a man that not even don't even know how to lead or don't even know how to incorporate her? So at the end of the day, them niggas crazy and they was on crack and nothing applies to them. I mean, that's all it comes down to. So that's it. I don't even. That's the end of the conversation. These niggas was crazy.
Crazy. So that was the end of our case for this week. I hope you guys really, really enjoyed it. It was definitely a lot. Like that case took a lot out of me, like just to even research. I had to put it down, come back, put it down. Like it was even giving me nightmares at one point. And it was that whole thing about him going to heaven was like really bothering me. But all in all, I ain't gonna hold you. I'm so glad to be done with this case 'cause it really bothered me.
Yeah, I know. I get it. It's it's hard to imagine that. Yeah, it's hard to imagine that you line dancing in heaven and you see this nigga like, come on, Jesus,
And
come
now I
on.
gotta look at you for the rest of eternity.
Yes. Oh my lord.
The reason I'm
Okay.
here is standing right over there.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah. That's
all, like I
right.
said, this was all in because they were all like, she Tamika was a child, so she could have potentially still been alive had her life not been cut short. So, but we will go ahead and stop here. So don't forget to follow us on social media. On Instagram, it's Melanin Mysteries Pod. TikTok, same thing, Melanin Mysteries Pod. And on Facebook, we are Melanin Mysteries Podcast. Again, we are still in our learning curve stage. So if you have suggestions for us, as long as you're respectful, we love to hear them. You can message us on any three platforms. Give us your opinions, give us your thoughts, anything that we can improve upon, things of that nature. Again, just keep it respectful.
And also, if you have a case that you want us to review and investigate and actually preview on our podcast, let us know also. Because there's some cases out there that we don't know about that are very intriguing. It's a shame, but it's a lot of folks killing their people. No, it's a lot of folks out here killing, and I mean, unfortunately. So, if it's anything that you would like us to talk about, just let us know. And also, in the beginning, you probably already heard, but I'll reiterate: if you are the first time listening and you're listening to this particular episode, make sure that you go back and listen to episode one of this because it brings everything together. You definitely need to check out episode one. And with that being said, Bessie, go ahead.
Love shouldn't come with a life sentence. Choose freedom, not felonies.
No felonies over here. So, hey, appreciate everybody checking us out. Take it easy.
Love, Lies, and Alibis.